The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.
Hi, this is ProACT Sam. Welcome to this episode of Living and Working Abroad, where we want to discuss reciprocal EU expat residency rights for expats living and working abroad. In the context that it's not just about Brexit, it's not just about the EU, it's about the whole world, and expats live in China, in Asia, in the Middle East, in America, in Europe, and there is a common set of rules around the world which allows them to control and protect their residency rights. And this is through a process called naturalisation. So it's the same for any expat when they go to live and work abroad. First of all, they must have a right to enter the country. This depends upon the individual sovereign country's rules, which is pretty much the same for any EU country as non-EU country. The EU countries have to treat every EU expat in the same way, but they still can have their own sovereign rules. But once you're registered, you can start a clock by living and working abroad in that country to acquire a permanent residency after maybe 5 years, followed by naturalisation and dual residency to give you a citizenship in that second country. And when you acquire by naturalisation a citizenship, you've got the same rights as citizens of that country by birth or origin. A permanent residency would remove your right, your need to do the immigration checks when you're coming in and going out of the country. So it can facilitate people that have acquired overseas property, businesses, or just retired long term to another location. It makes life a lot simpler for them. So what is the noise about Brexit? What is the point of Brexit? The EU is creating a common set of standards, rules and regulation, customs, tariffs and treaties for its people and business across the borders of 27, 28 countries. Now those laws are based upon international laws, and they still have to abide by the international treaties, whether those treaties are for maritime, air, internet, tax, financial healthcare. Whatever the international regulation, the EU still has to abide by that, but they create their own version of it internally. And this is the declaration brought about by the Maastricht Treaty to create this EU citizens' rights, where the concept that all EU citizens are treated in an equal way with no discrimination in any EU country. Fine words, fine undertaking, but exactly the same technically that is afforded somebody who by naturalisation acquires a dual citizenship of that second country. Now, under Brexit, many people are concerned to lose those EU citizen rights. EU expats living and working in the UK, what's going to happen to them and their families? UK expats living and working in Europe, what's going to happen to those people, their families, their businesses? Well, fairly simple. We look at naturalisation, and with or without a deal, with or without Brexit, the naturalisation process allows expats to acquire and control their residency living and working abroad. And there's 4 takeaways that you can get from our guides at proactpartnership.com, where you can read our reciprocal expat residency rights. You can find out about how naturalisation works for expats in any country, including Brexit countries. You can look at how dual citizenship can be used to the advantage of EU expats to retain residency rights in the EU or in the UK after Brexit, with or without a deal. You can also consider how the Brexit withdrawal treaty will impact on you and how you can control that process. so that you as an expat are going to be able to dictate what happens to you and your family and your property and your business across borders down the generations. So with or without a deal, there's still a way that expats can control their future. And to find out more, go along to our website at proactpartnership.com. You can download a copy of our Reciprocal Expat Residency Rights book, or you can get copies of other guides on healthcare, taxation, and living and working abroad and Brexit. You can ask us a question on our Facebook page or group, Living and Working Abroad, and interact with us on our YouTube page as well. We always like to hear from you. We always like to answer your questions and help guide expats living and working abroad, their family and business across border and down the generations, to be safe and secure and take care going forward. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you again next time.
The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.